one misunderstood word, and 583 lives lost. March 27, 1977, a peaceful Sunday in the Canary Islands. Passengers were traveling for holidays. Families were excited. Crew members were focused on routine operations. No one knew this day would become the deadliest accident in aviation history. Earlier that afternoon, a bomb explosion at a nearby airport forced many international flights to divert to a small airport called Los Rodeos on the island of Tenerife. The airport was never designed for heavy traffic. Taxiways were limited. Aircraft were parked along the runway. Confusion slowly began to build. Then the weather changed. Thick fog rolled across the airfield. Visibility dropped to almost zero. Pilots could not see the runway clearly. The control tower could not see the aircraft. Everything now depended on radio communication. Two Boeing 747 jumbo jets were preparing for departure. One belonged to KLM Royal Dutch Airlines, the other to Pan American World Airways. Both were fully loaded with passengers. Both were waiting on the same runway. The Pan Am aircraft was taxiing, trying to find its assigned exit in the dense fog. Ahead of them, the KLM captain prepared for takeoff. After hours of delay, pressure was rising, fuel was limited, schedules were disrupted. Inside the cockpit, radio messages overlapped with static. The control tower issued instructions. But one phrase became fatally misunderstood. The KLM captain believed he had received takeoff clearance. He pushed the throttles forward. The massive aircraft began accelerating down the runway, powerful engines roaring, speed increasing rapidly through the thick fog. Meanwhile, the Pan Am aircraft was still on that very runway. Their crew suddenly saw bright landing lights breaking through the mist, a giant aircraft racing toward them. There was no time, no space to escape. At high speed, the KLM jet slammed into the Pan Am aircraft. The impact was devastating. Fuel ignited instantly. A massive explosion tore through the fog. The KLM aircraft was destroyed. Everyone on board lost their lives. On the Pan Am flight, only 61 people survived. In total, 583 lives were lost. It was not a mechanical failure. It was not a structural defect. It was human error, miscommunication, poor visibility, and assumption under pressure. Investigators concluded that unclear radio phraseology and cockpit authority played critical roles. After Tenerife, aviation changed forever. Strict communication rules were introduced worldwide. The word takeoff could only be spoken during final clearance. Crew resource management training became mandatory. Pilots were trained to question decisions, to confirm instructions clearly, to avoid assumptions at any cost. This tragedy became a turning point in aviation safety, a painful lesson written in fire. Today, flying is safer because of the lessons learned that day, but the memory of 583 lives remains. One misunderstood word. But beyond the reports, beyond the investigations, beyond the safety reforms, there were 583 human stories. Mothers, fathers, children, dreams that never reached their destination. Airports are places of arrival and departure. But that day, Tenerife became a place of silence, a reminder that even in the most advanced machines, human clarity matters more than anything. In aviation, there is no room for assumption, no space for confusion, because at 160 knots, a single misunderstanding becomes unstoppable. Today, every time a pilot clearly says, "Cleared for takeoff," it carries the weight of history. It carries the lesson of Tenerife. If this story made you think, if it showed you how fragile a single moment can be, then support Depthline TV. Subscribe to the channel, like this video, share it with others, and tell us in the comments, could this tragedy have been prevented? Follow Depthline TV on Facebook and TikTok for more powerful aviation documentaries and real untold mysteries. Because here, we don't just talk about crashes, we explore the decisions, the seconds, and the words that changed history forever.